Auschwitz. On the inside, it's a nightmare because it's a concentration camp. What did you think? Democratic lawmakers got to tour Alligator Auschwitz, and it was like a staged photo op. You know, like the whole thing was cushy and fluffed up, and even that was a nightmare. Even that was a nightmare, bro. You can't curse in the first 60 seconds of a YouTube video, so I gotta wait. Anyway, listen, it's not funny. It's not funny, but you know, I gotta find a way to guide us through this. And the way that I'm going to guide us through this is by every once in a while cracking a joke here or there to not lose our to not lose our mind, to not lose my shit. Anyway, fuck, man, we got a lot to cover. Not only that, the Republican House just voted to not release the Epstein files, and they did it in like 5 seconds. It was the craziest shit I did ever see. It was the craziest shit I did ever see. Anyway, chat's telling me that wasn't 60 seconds. I don't give a fuck. Go fuck yourself. Hi, I'm Chris Valenti. This is the Valenti Vod. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. Also, thank you for the $20. I appreciate that. I love you, too. Real quick, you see that $20 that I just got? That is what funds this channel. This is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser or a company or a billionaire. You know what I mean? I'm very proud of that. So if you want to support the channel, you can in many ways. A huge shout out to all of my patrons and all of my members. You guys who are paying like $3, $5, $8 monthly. Thank you very much. I love you all. And thank you for 75,000 subs. But regardless, let's get in there. So we've got a lot of different articles about this, but we're going to use The Guardian here. And I already know fake news, but we're going to do it anyway. Hundreds of detainees with no criminal charges sent to Trump's Alligator Alcatraz, which we, in this channel, will only be referring to as either Alligator Auschwitz or, as I prefer to call it, the Florida concentration camp. It's hard to even make a joke about, like, it's actually, this is what I'm saying, guys. They're memeing their way into fascism, sort of like, you know, like Pepe the Frog style old school 4chan Nazis, right? The ones who thought they were being funny with like the edgy Nazi shit. That's their play this time. Their play is to, you know, meme and joke and pat each other on the back their way into fascism rather than just being very brazen. Because this is a way to get those fuck-ass incel 18-year-olds on board, and it's working, right? So, anyway, let's get back to it. Excuse me. We've got an article, and then we've got videos, but we're going to start with a little bit of the article. The notorious new Alligator Alcatraz immigration jail in the Florida Everglades contains hundreds of detainees with no criminal records or charges. It was disclosed on Sunday as lawmakers decreed inhumane conditions inside after touring the facility. Donald Trump has insisted that the remote camp and swampland populated by pythons and alligators was reserved for immigrants who were, quote, deranged psychopaths and some of the most vicious people on the planet awaiting deportation. But at least one detainee shouted out to politicians during Saturday's visit that he was a U.S. citizen. The Democratic Florida Congressman Maxwell Frost said. And the Miami Herald obtained and published a list of 700 people held in cages, showing that at least 250 had committed no offense other than a civil immigration violation. These are civil offenses, guys. These are not criminal offenses. This is not the type of shit that you throw somebody in jail for. It's the type of thing that you give them a fucking fine for. Oh, God. Ugh. Authorities have refused to release the list of those sent there by Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, the Florida Department of Emergency Management, which operates the hastily assembled tent encampment. They said, quote, all detainees at the facility are illegal immigrants, and any claim otherwise is completely false. Well, you would be able to prove that if you actually gave these people due process and you left a paper trail so that we could figure this shit out. But no, you don't. You don't do that. So, here's the main problem. This is just the people that we know of. I really do believe that we're, like, committing a secret genocide right now. And we're getting reports that there's worms in the food, that it is flooding. And of course it is. It's a tent facility in the middle of the Florida Everglades, and hurricane season is coming up. This is a nightmare waiting to happen. I'm calling it now. When a hurricane does come through, that fucking place is destroyed. The people in there are dead, zo. It's surrounded by gators and pythons. There's worms in the food. The water is flooding, and there's shit in the water. There's some people who are getting poisoned by bleach in the drinking water. It's a fucking concentration camp.
People are complaining that someone got bit by a mosquito. It's South Florida. This is not the Four Seasons.
They're not complaining that somebody got bit by a mosquito. Thank you for the $5. Fun fact, civil charges are not legal, entitled to legal defense, including deportation. Jesus Christ, I didn't know that. But, guys, they're not complaining that, like, oh, somebody got bit by a mosquito. They're complaining that this is a tent facility in the fucking humid Florida Everglades, and it is infested with bugs. It's not even it's not enclosed. There's no air conditioning. Or there is, but it keeps turning off.
It is a professional processing center to effectuate the deportation of illegal aliens.
Governor Ron DeSantis speaking out about complaints over conditions at Alligator Alcatraz, calling it a staged tour. Democratic, state, and federal lawmakers from across Florida gathered at Alligator Alcatraz today for a scheduled visit of the controversial detention center for illegal migrants. The facility opened on the 1st of the month. Since then, there have been a number of reports of inhumane living conditions, which Democrats say they've been denied entry to see for themselves until now. Now, our cameras were not allowed to go inside with them, but WPTV's Kayla McDermott outside the gates caught up with our lawmakers before and after heading into the center.
Democratic lawmakers drove through that gate today to take a tour of Alligator Alcatraz, and when they were done, they told us that they saw...
Real quick, can we point out the fact that it is absolutely insane that it's actually called Alligator Alcatraz? Like, you want to give it a fucked up nickname like that? Go ahead, but like... what the fuck are we doing? What timeline is this shit?
The worst conditions they've ever seen. Before heading into the detention center,
this is a stunt. This is effing ridiculous.
Democratic leaders were...
Fuck off. That guy's a fucking pussy. The fact that I have to rely on this fucking ass clown to fight against a concentration camp and a new wave of fascism, and he's too much of a fucking pussy to say the word fucking on TV? You're outside of a concentration camp right now, and you don't have the balls to curse? Suck my dick, bro. Fuck, man.
Already anticipating a lackluster tour
that we expect will show us little to nothing.
Saying it is a staged, scripted, and sanitized version, as they were denied entry last week when attempting an unannounced visit to Alligator Alcatraz.
When the state found out about our unannounced visit, they issued this official invitation because they knew they had cleaning up to do.
A lawsuit has been filed due to Democrats being turned away, stating the action is against the Florida statute.
We don't need permission to come to this facility.
But when pushed by WPTV's Tyler Hatfield the day before the visit,
Governor DeSantis, do you have a comment about Florida Democrats filing a lawsuit?
Governor Ron DeSantis says the lawsuit is unjust, stating the tour invite came the day before the filing.
This is a ridiculous lawsuit. They should be sanctioned by the court for abusing the legal system.
Passing a group of protesters, Democratic...
What the fuck do you mean abusing the legal system? They are lawmakers trying to do an oversight of investigation of your fucking concentration camp. They just want to see what it looks like on the fucking inside. What are you gonna hide? What do you have to hide? Show me what's in the side! Show me!
Were able to head inside and said they would be analyzing the conditions, as detainees have been reporting bugs in their food, an infestation of mosquitoes, plumbing not working, and inadequate medical care. Alleged conditions DeSantis has little sympathy for.
This is not the Four Seasons. What's the plumbing going to be like in their home country? What are the bugs going to be like in their home country? Give me a break on some of this stuff.
Brother, What are the bugs in the plumbing going to be like in their home country? Just blatant fucking racism from Governor Ron to fuck your face? Not to mention that a lot of these people are United States citizens.
3 groups of lawmakers each took their own tour and could not bring electronics in with them. Afterwards, they shared their experience.
We saw humans being held in cages, 32 people per cage, 3 toilets in each cage for these 32 people, and their drinking water comes from the toilet.
I mean, there are really disturbing, vile conditions.
However, DeSantis says the center is being ran professionally and took a jab at Democrats fighting against the facility.
Democrats care more about illegal aliens than they do about American citizens. I've never seen these Democrats fight this hard for the people of Florida. I've never.
First of all, thank you for the $5, Ruby. Yeah, don't forget the immigrants are disproportionately unvaccinated and COVID is still happening. Yeah. No, that's true. In the medical facilities, they wouldn't allow them to tour. The Democratic lawmakers were not allowed to see the medical facilities, and I'm convinced that is because they, A, don't exist, or B, they are completely abhorrent. Anyway, listen, we don't care about their legality. I don't give a fuck what your civilian status is. I don't believe anybody should be thrown into a fucking facility like Alligator Auschwitz. Call me crazy. You know, like, what are we doing? You got a moat? You need a moat with alligators and a python. Brother! Hablo Espanol. Boo! Like, what the fuck are you so afraid of, brother?
Never seen them fight this hard for U.S. citizens.
But for Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she says,
This place needs to be shut the hell down. It needs to be shut down.
Now, clearly, Democratic lawmakers were not satisfied with this tour. They say that they plan to come back here again, unannounced, for another one. At Alligator Alcatraz, I'm Kayla McDermott.
Again, hearing her say, at Alligator Alcatraz, I'm Kayla McDermott. All right, now get this. Meanwhile, like, we've got, thank you for the $10. I want you just while on the phone with my girlfriend explaining why you're losing your shit because all she can hear is you yelling, well, tell her you listen here. I'm kidding. I can't yell that loud. Whoopsie. All right. So we got 5 more Alligator Auschwitz being built in red states. Meanwhile, ICE is detaining fucking United States disabled veterans, like U.S. citizen disabled veterans, and they're kidnapping them, and nobody knows where they're going.
Just an extremely emotional scene here. The minute that we arrived outside Glass House Farms, we met a sister and a wife of a man who works as a security guard here, George Redis. He is a disabled U.S. veteran. He is a U.S. citizen, and they are desperately looking for him. They haven't heard anything about his whereabouts from yesterday. They do say that he was taken in the raid. We want to show you a picture of 25-year-old George Redis, a U.S. Army veteran who his family again says is disabled. They saw via Air 7 yesterday that he was trying to leave the scene in his white vehicle. Take a listen to what his sister and then his wife told us.
I thought he was probably part of the protest, and he wasn't. He was trying to reverse his car. They broke his window, they pepper sprayed him, they grabbed him, threw him on the floor, they detained him. His wife's been trying to call and ask where he is. They don't know where he is. Apparently, no one associates with nobody. So now we don't know what to do. We're just asking to let my brother go. He's a U.S. citizen. He didn't do anything wrong. He's a veteran disabled citizen. It says it on his car.
And I just want to know where he's at because I have not seen him, and I heard from him since yesterday. And I called LA, and they keep saying that they're not going over there. And I just don't know where he's at. I've been up since 6 a.m. trying to call the sheriffs, the police department, Oxnard, Camarillo, Ventura, and I can't hear nothing. They say they don't know, they don't associate.
And as you heard,
brother, if our disabled veterans aren't safe, then who is? Like, they they are unironically the people who put up, like, the most. They put the most on the line. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh. Now, last but not least, on the Alligator Auschwitz style, let's move on. Somebody fucking throw Yans in the corner for like 4 hours.
Facility, 1,000-bed facility can continue to be expanded. We're looking at other locations as well. We've had several other states that are actually using Alligator Alcatraz as a model for how they can partner with us as well.
What are some of those? Are there other states?
I'm having ongoing conversations with 5 other governors about facilities that they may have. You know, I haven't asked those governors if I can share their names, but announcements will...
Catch that? Thank you for becoming a loyalist. See, this is how they're operating. They're doing it quick and they're saying it fast. They're pretending like this isn't a big deal. Listen to what she's saying.
About facilities that they may have. You know, I haven't had...
Hold on. Are there other states?
I'm having ongoing conversations with 5 other governors about facilities that they may have.
And they're talking about using Alligator Auschwitz as a model.
You know, I haven't asked those governors if I can share their names, but announcements will be coming soon. As you all know, we need to double our capacity in detention beds because we need to facilitate getting people out of this country as fast as possible and to sustain our operations. But those governors have been fantastic. I will tell you, they are all Republicans. So I would challenge some Democrats to start taking care of your states, partner with us. Facility, 1,000-bed facility.
So, we've got more of these fucking facilities going up, and now we're going to take a quick transition because, listen, while all of this is going down, we finally have a nail dividing MAGA. The MAGA civil war has begun, and it's all because of Trump and Epstein, right? We talked about this in our last video. I mean, guys, over the past week, Google search for Trump Epstein has increased by 1,200%. It's remarkable. And Trump went on this crash out, and now, like, everything's falling apart. Dan Bongino, the FBI deputy director, he's threatening to quit. Pam Bondi is starting to feel the pressure. You could see it. She's shaking. Her voice is shaking. Her body's shaking. It's getting fucking weird. But let's take a quick transition into this. So right now, we've got Trump asked directly if Pam Bondi told him his name was in the Epstein files, and Trump does exactly what he always does. He's dodged the fucking question.
Mr. President, your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency in the Epstein case. Do you agree with her, sir?
The Attorney General's handled that very well. She's really done a very good job, and I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also, but I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important, and you want credible evidence for something like that. And I think the Attorney General has handled it very well.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden,
the Biden information. Donald Trump just said the Epstein list was put together by Jim Comey, Barack Obama, and the Biden information. Oh, God, I'm laughing because, like, this is what MAGA has to run with. You got to understand, MAGA's a cult, right? MAGA has to do what Daddy tells them. So now, anytime somebody brings up the Epstein list and, like, a MAGA supporter, just say, what do you think? The Biden information released that? What do you think? You think Barack Obama is the one who made that? Like, brothers, you are so fucking stupid.
We went through years of that with the
Russia
hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it. But
so are you saying you're on this? Wait a minute. I think he's just like accidentally admitting that he's on it because he's been through. Listen again to what he's saying. We got to go back and analyze this for a second. Wait.
Just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it.
So you've gone through years of what? You're saying that you've gone through years of being accused of things you didn't do, right? That's what you're saying, Donald. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. You're saying you've gone through years of things that you were accused of doing, but didn't actually do. And now you're being asked about the Epstein list and saying, oh, sure, are you on the Epstein list? And you go, no, but I've gone through this before. I've been accused of things that I didn't do. And you're on the list. You're on the list? Brothers, am I going fucking nuts? Am I the only one picking up what he's putting down?
And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
Oh, so they're going to go with credible. So they're going to say, we're not releasing this stuff because it's not credible. And Trump's going to be the not credible. That's what they're going to say. They're going to be like, now, meanwhile, look at how the public is reacting to this. This is important. Look at the way that the public is reacting to this.
The president's support.
Yeah, I would say that the word is dissatisfied. That is how Americans feel in terms of the releases so far of the Epstein case. Take a look here. Epstein case, amount of info release. The winner here, 50% dissatisfied. Doesn't matter, 29%, not heard enough, 17%. But look at the bottom of your screen. The percentage that are satisfied is just 3%.
This is pivotal, okay? Literally nobody. There is only one thing that I think like every single branch of the American populace agrees on right now, and it's we want to see the Epstein list. I think this 3% here are actually like pedophiles. This has got to be pedophiles. And they're like, no, we don't like that shit. But if they don't do this, this is the first time that I think even like the real average run-of-the-mill, like simply uneducated, not genuinely evil, like Trump voter is going to feel betrayed by him. Because of course, it doesn't even affect them, but everybody cares about kids, unless you're like a sick fuck. But everybody cares about kids, and this is like the one thing that has everybody in agreement.
That's one, that's two, that is just 3%. I feel like the count on Sesame Street, just 3% of Americans are satisfied so far with the amount of information released. The clear winner in this particular case is 50%. Half of the public is dissatisfied, at least so far.
And are you seeing a big difference between how Republicans and Democrats are viewing this?
Not really.
No, and that I think is kind of the interesting sort of nugget in what's going on here. You see this 50% dissatisfied, and let's break it down by party. Okay, Epstein case, amount of info released. Look at this. You get 43% of lean GOP, that's Republicans and independents who lean towards the Republican Party, who are dissatisfied. Look at this. Just 4% satisfied? My goodness gracious. When you only have 4% that is with Donald Trump on a particular issue, that is ridiculously low. I've never seen anything quite like it. How about lean Democrat? 60% dissatisfied. Compare that to 3% who are satisfied. Again, 4%, 3% Republican, Democrat. You rarely ever see this type of agreement. Now, of course, there's another.
See, I'm telling you, this is really important shit. And then here's the last thing here is that the FBI Deputy Director, Dan Bongino, he like threatened to quit unless Pam Bondi was fired. Because Dan Bongino was like a fucking conspiracy theorist nut job, like the whole like Barack Obama born in Kenya and Michelle Obama being a man and the 2020 election and like all that shit. And he also really built up his following around the releasing of the Epstein files. And now he's the deputy director, and it's like he's become the monster that he used to claim that he wanted to hunt. And it seems like he's like in on it. It's weird. He's both in on it and like disgusted with himself. So he's like threatening to quit unless he gets what he wants, but people aren't. It's fucked up. But the funny part about it is that Trump doesn't even know if this guy still fucking works for him, okay? This is how incompetent our we're talking about the FBI deputy director right now. Watch this. She said, is Dan Bongino still your FBI deputy director?
Oh, I think so. I did. I spoke to him today.
Oh, I think so. You're the fucking president of the United States. Oh, I think so?
Dan Bongino, very good guy. I've known him a long time. I've done his show many, many times. And he sounded terrific, actually. No, I think he's in good shape.
What does that even mean? Doland. All right, now let's close out this episode by pulling up Trump's Truth and checking out what our boys got going. All right? Because I've been gone for a while and we haven't done enough Trump Truth. Let's see. What is this? Oh, this is about his stupid fucking book about his assassination attempt. All right, let's see. Here we got one. To the many great Americans enjoying their summer vacations in Atlantic City, Wildwood, and Cape May in the wonderful state of New Jersey, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, remember that your Republican congressman and my great friend Jeff Van Drew is fighting hard and winning to keep your beaches beautiful with no windmills. In fact, we just beat one of the biggest windmill projects anywhere in the world. It would have been a disaster, but they gave up because of the onslaught of Trump Van Drew. Great job, Jeff. And let's do one more. This morning, I finalized an important deal with the Republic of Indonesia after speaking with their highly respected president, Prabowo Subianto. This landmark deal opens up Indonesia's entire market to the United States for the first time in history. As part of the agreement, Indonesia has committed to purchasing $15 billion in U.S. energy, $4.5 billion in American agricultural products, and 50 Boeing jets, many of them 777s. For the first time ever, our ranchers, farmers, and fishermen will have complete and total access to the Indonesian market of over 280 million people. In addition, Indonesia will pay the United States a 19% tariff on all goods they export to us, while U.S. exports to Indonesia are to be tariff and non-tariff barrier free. If there is any transshipment from a higher tariff country, then the tariff will be added onto the tariff that Indonesia is paying. Thank you to the people of Indonesia for your friendship and commitment to balancing our trade deficit. We will keep delivering for the American people and the people of Indonesia. Yo, that is the craziest sentence I think I've ever fucking read. If there is any transshipment from a higher tariff country, then that tariff will be added onto the tariff that Indonesia's paying. What? What? Oh, God, he's so fucking stupid, brother. He's so fucking stupid. Anyway, that's all I got for you in today's episode of the Valenti Vod. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you're here live, please stay. This isn't over. We got to make the thumbnail for this video. If you're watching this pre-recorded, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit subscribe, do everything, all that shit. Donate to the channel because this is grassroots funded. And do me one other favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger. And I know bangers.